900 horsepower trucks, speeds of nearly 100 miles per hour, and 1.2 miles of challenging Missouri dirt. Coming up next on AMSOIL Championship Off-Road, the world's best short course off-road drivers will test themselves and one another on one of the most demanding tracks on the National Series. The Show Me Off-Road Shootout on Fox Sports starts now. Hey everyone, welcome to AMSOIL Championship Off-Road. This begins our 2025 season. We are at the Show Me Off-Road Shootout here at beautiful Lucas Oil Speedway. Hey again everyone, I am Shane Stetsny alongside Brent Smith. Brent, this track here is challenging, it is technical, it is fast, it is vertical, it offers a little bit of everything, and it's going to put these drivers to the test.
Yeah, there's a lot of obstacles on this track, and weather could play a factor coming into this weekend, and I'm telling you, it's fast, high flyaways, but it's very technical down on the bottom insides of these corners. It's not easy to negotiate.
Well, before we get started, let's take a flying lap around the track here at Lucas Oil Speedway. High-speed straightaway into the banked left-hander, turn one, sweeping corner, climb a little slight incline into turn two. It gets tight through here.
Yeah, it really does. You have to negotiate those turns very nicely if you want to get a good run coming through Talladega Corner. It is a fast sweeper. You don't want to get carried up too far up. You'll lose all your momentum, but then it's a drag race here, Shane.
Set your truck and set sail over the Brunt Workwear Booter. Huge tabletop. We saw a couple sportsman drivers trying it out. All the pros be able to clear that thing with ease. Down the hill you go into this hard left-hand corner at the top of the hill. Slight descent over the overpass jump. You want to be jumping over to the right side, almost landing, aim to the left here to get squared away for this rhythm section. So critical.
Yeah, and you got to be square. We've seen a lot of cars getting out of shape going through there in the early parts of the day. Then you go through this tight section and then hit another table. But you got to be hard on the binders when you get over this tabletop because that corner comes very quick.
Yeah, this is the tightest section on the course. Hard right-hander, very short straightaway, hard left-hander. Get squared away through the tunnel. That's a no-touch zone through there, and most of the drivers played nice yesterday. One final sweeper through the Polaris final turn, out onto the AMSOIL front straightaway and past the finish line, and that is a lap around Lucas Oil Speedway's off-road track. Pro 2 on track. Your Yokohama top qualifier set down the fastest lap in round number one. It's Rowdy Ryan B. Also took the big win in round number one. That's a big statement for him. He wants to come out swinging this year. Fell just short in the championship fight in 2024. Of course, last year's champion Mickey Thomas has moved on to Pro 4, so a wide open class. And we are just about set to let them thunder down the front straightaway.
Well, take a listen, Shane.
All kinds of horsepower thundering down into turn one. Man, Beat and Anderson pretty much dead even on entry into that corner, but Beat is going to come out with the advantage.
Yeah, Ryan Beat going to run that top side, try to get that run around. Oh, we got a truck around. Looks like Kyle Creeves, not the start to his day that he wanted. Bummer deal for him. Because now we go back out front. Ryan Beat showing the way around. Remember, round one winner, that Bill Stein Shock Chevrolet.
In what's going to shape up to be a really good points battle, I think, between these talented drivers. Ryan Beat wants nothing more than to stamp this weekend with a second win and get off to that hot start. See Keegan Kincaid leading the pack of dogs behind Ryan Beat. Kincaid looking for a bounce back here. Got beat up a little bit yesterday, as did Kyle Greaves. So Greaves kind of up against some adversity in both of the opening rounds.
Yeah, and you just got to keep your head forward and just try to pick apart as many as you can in this first half.
Oh, Johnny Holcher pushed a little bit wide there. That's going to let another truck get on by.
Look at him flying by our cameras. There's Ronnie Anderson, Johnny Holger.
Yeah, Ronnie Anderson able to get on by Holcher. That's the truck that snuck on past. 1 lap in the books and a long way to go here for the Pro 2s.
Man, it looks like Ryan Beaton's team made that truck a little bit quicker than round 1. There's a good battle going on right in front of us. Johnny Holger and that Yokohama Tires Ford trying to go against that NOS Energy Drink Ford. And look at that, right around the outside.
That line by Holcher from turn 1 all the way through turn 2 was absolutely flawless.
He was running that line in Pro White, so he learned a lot as he's running up high there.
Yeah, and look at the run. He's going to get off that corner. Headed for the Brunt Workwear Booter. This huge tabletop down the backstretch. No problem for these Pro 2s clearing the whole top of that thing.
And let's see if Keegan Kincaid here gets that drive out of these turns.
Kincaid trying to run the high side through turn 2. Saw Beat kind of push across the racetrack. Kincaid with a much better run. He's going to look to the inside in Talladega turn.
Boy, Keegan Kincaid, look at him in that Lucas Oil back Ford. Going to try to get the job done on this straightaway.
And he will. He moves over. They make some bumper-to-bumper contact up the face of that jump. You got to be careful with that in that place on this track. Keegan hard on the binders, pitching it in, and he is your new leader here in Pro 2.
Boy, he's not messing around. We talked to him after round 1. He was pretty disgusted, but I guarantee he's smiling ear to ear right now. Be like, hey, the truck's dialed.
Well, he knows there's a lot more work to do. Ricky G staying right on the back bumper of Rowdy Beat as they go through the infield section. Anderson still there in 4th. Trey Gibbs, a good run for him, up in the top 5 as well.
Wow, just creeping by that infield tractor tire.
And this is where Keegan has been a little quicker than Beat through those tight corners. Look at him gap it out a little bit.
Yeah, he just needed that fresh, clean air. He's showing everyone the way around now. Now it's totally different in the first half. But Jeff Kincaid and the boys, they know how to get it done. They've won multiple championships in that family.
So now we'll watch Ryan Beat go back to work. Yeah, Keegan's making that high line work really well. Now Ryan Beat finally found that line as well. That low line he was trying to run is what cost him the lead in the first place.
Boy, that Lucas Oil Vision Wheel back Ford is just looking like a rocket ship here in the second half. He's gonna fly over that Brunt Booter jump one more time. Boy, see Beat, he cased it a little bit.
Yeah, and Ricky G right behind him still launching off that thing. So no doubt that Ricky G, just like Nolan thought, is going to be really aggressive in the second half. We'll see if he can catch up to Ryan Beat here through this rhythm section.
Boy, they're almost doubling those infield rhythm sections. Now Beat, he's creeping back up towards the back of Keegan Kincaid. But when we get on those long straightaways, it seems like Keegan Kincaid going back to gearing might have a little bit of a different gear in that underdrive.
Man, they look really evenly matched that time through that tight section. They'll pop out of the tunnel and onto the Polaris final turn. Still a long way to go in this one. Over 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, now Keegan went back to that bottom, so we'll see if he feeds up on the top side through this infield section, heading towards Talladega corner.
Little bobble on entry there from Keegan Kincaid. Kind of got hung up on the cushion trying to drive down to the bottom. Yeah, Beat's starting to close back in just a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan's like, I got to try this top side now. I got to go where Keegan's going, see if I can reel him back in. Our eyes are telling him, telling us that he is gathering them up again.
Yeah, we'll see. They're both just about equal as they were in the air over that huge jump. Man, Beat was so hard on the brakes that fiberglass valance down there on the bottom of the hood was digging into the dirt.
He's right there again. Ryan Beat's trying a little bit of a different line on entry in this rhythm section.
Yeah, I like how he squared that up a little earlier than Kincaid. You can see him going to work now. He definitely has something for Keegan.
He's rolling those turns. You see Keegan, he stays a little bit wider. He's spinning those tires a little too much.
Wow, a little bump there from Rowdy Beat on the back bumper of Kincaid. Here comes Ricky G to join the party.
Boy, they slow down so much in that section. Yeah, Ricky G, he's all over the back door.
As they come back onto the front straightaway once again, 1:45 left on the clock. This is going to get really good, really spicy for these final laps. Gutierrez takes a peek there to the inside of Beat, nothing doing there.
Yeah, you wonder if you're going to see another gear shift for Ricky G. He's not scared to hold the pedal to the metal. We'll have to wait on this booter jump if he just goes for it.
Beat's starting to enter Talladega turn wider and wider each and every lap. If he can start putting together that big high side run just like he did right there, Beat has definitely found something. We'll see if Kincaid's spotter lets him know that Beat has found a little extra speed on the high side up there.
Yeah, Beat must not trust his truck to fly in the air as much because he's scrubbing it like a motocross bike, and that's what he used to do in his past.
Well, you got to keep the wheels down. That's where you got the traction and the forward bite.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere flying in the air.
Right on the back bumper once again of Keegan Kincaid. They make a little more contact. Starting to bubble up just like we saw yesterday in round number 1.
Yeah, look at him grabbing that grip down with the right front, and then he comes back across and tries to grab with the left, but he stayed wide that time, so he proved us wrong.
Yeah, I think he's just trying something a little different there. It's fun to watch that thought process work itself out, just searching, hey, maybe if I run a half truck further this way or a quarter truck further that way, I can find something that they haven't yet.
Yeah, that's what I love about race car drivers. 2 laps ago that time by, especially here in AMSOIL Championship Off-Road, these Pro 2 drivers really are very smart to keep changing their lines throughout the race.
Oh, Beat is close now. We saw him enter Talladega really wide on the previous lap.
If you're Keegan, shouldn't you stay wide? Yeah, I would stay wide here. I'd go where Ryan Beat was going because it's so rough.
Right, but Beat's entering a little bit wider. That's letting him carry this a little tiny bit more speed. Who's going to push the envelope over the big jump? That's the question. Beat jumped a little bit farther that time, trying to outbrake Kincaid into this left-hander.
Ooh, Keegan bobbles there big time.
Oh, they made a little more contact, wrinkled the fiberglass on Keegan's truck.
Remember, we'll be coming to the white flag this time by, so it is getting hot and heavy here in Pro 2.
Wow, Beat had to get hard on the brakes there not to stack into the back of Kincaid.
Tiptoeing their way through one more time here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Look at Beat. He apexed that turn a little bit better than Keegan Kincaid. Boy, is he relying on those runs. Hey, we keep talking about it. Ryan Beat is really putting it together here.
Yeah, but there's 3 or 4 spots on this racetrack where Beat has found something that Kincaid hasn't yet found. And I think this final lap, I should say, is going to get really, really interesting.
Yeah, Keegan knows he's there.
Yeah, about 2 truck lengths now between these two. I'm curious to see if Beat tries that way high side entry again into Talladega turn. He looks content right now to just follow Keegan through turn 2.
Yeah, remember that run Ryan Beat gets. If I was Keegan Kincaid, you got to stay a little bit higher up like they are. He entered the same as Ryan Beat, but then he comes right across the bottom. So we'll see if Ryan Beat can button back up to the rear of that Lucas Oil back forward.
Yeah, there's definitely a little more grip where Beat was running through the middle of that corner. And again, Beat trying to outbrake Kincaid. As they come down off the top of the hill, Beat using every inch of the racetrack now. That mistake might cost him.
Yeah, he hit that big boulder. I don't know if it's a chunk of clay or a rock down there with that left front.
Beat's been really quick through this section as well, and again, closing back in on Kincaid. These 3 tight corners might make the difference. Whichever of these drivers can come out on top.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Kincaid and give credit where it's due. I mean, after running a partial schedule in 2024, he's planning on running a full schedule here in 2025, and he's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, he just let everybody know in this Pro 2 field he is going to be tough to contend with and be a threat for this championship. Keegan Kincaid, your Pro 2 winner here in round 2. Man, Ryan Beat through the kitchen sink at Kincaid. Just wasn't enough here. Still a great weekend for Beat.
Talk about making that move on Ryan after the restart.
Yeah, I think, we were all pretty fast, and I was just kind of feeling him out at the halfway, and, I think we were pretty equal on racing, and I don't know if he was trying to protect a little bit at halfway. It's tough because there's guys diving left and right, and it feels good, after the last year that we had, we regrouped and put it on the top spot today, so.
Big congratulations to Keegan Kincaid, who starts his championship quest with a huge win. When Champ Off-Road returns, AMSOIL Pro Side-by-Side is next. Can the defending champ CJ Greaves continue his reign, or will Owen Van Epperen put his Yamaha out front of this stacked field? Back here in Wheatland, the Show Me Off-Road Shootout. AMSOIL Pro Side-by-Side just a few moments away. You're taking a flying look at what goes on under the awning back in the pit area. That is the team of Rodney and Owen Van Epperen. We'll see them on the track here in Pro Side-by-Side, but this class is absolutely loaded with talent, Brent.
Yeah, this field is so stacked in the Pro Side-by-Side division. It is unreal with the Van Epperens in the group, as well as CJ Greaves and a host of other great race car drivers.
Off we go at AMSOIL Pro Side-by-Side. Van Epperen trying to drive in backwards and almost went all the way around. He was able to power out of it, lost about 5 or 6 spots. Now Carlson in some kind of trouble.
Man, already big contact.
All kinds of chaos. Man, Van Epperen got sideways, and I think everybody else was trying to pick a lane left or right to get around him, and Carlson ultimately pays the biggest price for it. You saw Leland Tice had to square his car back up again, and look who's out front, CJ Greaves, but he's got Boodle right alongside him as they head over the Brunt Booter.
Yeah, remember, the Greaves family, they built those cars for Jeb Boodle, so they're pretty much identical as Boodle goes on the outside and passes CJ Greaves.
Yeah, CJ was trying to stay way down to the bottom where there's about half of a dry line, battling the elements and the track conditions as much as anything else.
Yeah, they're not really even racing it right now. They're just trying to pick it apart. And I'm sure in this second half, you're going to see the cars get up and go a lot quicker as here comes Greaves. Greaves goes in the inside.
Does he have the traction, though? That's the question. Boodle a little bit better run off the corner. Greaves trying to beat him to the spot. Not able to do so. But yeah, Boodle pushed wide. And oh, big trouble for Jeb Boodle. He had to dodge the tractor tire. Now he's got to wait to pull back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. He had to come right across.
Still Ronnie Anderson in that third spot, although Owen Van Epperen able to just sneak by him there as they went into turn 1. Anderson was ahead at the stripe, but Owen Van Epperen in the number 5 slides into third. Boodle got shuffled all the way back to 5th after that restart.
Wow, tough break for Jeb Boodle. He was running out front for a little while early.
Look who else is creeping into this conversation, Brent. The number 5, Owen Van Epperen, now catching up to his dad, Hot Rod Van Epperen, as they come back onto the front straightaway. I want to see these lap times. Owen Van Epperen just set the fastest lap of the race. That's what I was expecting based on how quickly he is closing on our top 2.
CJ still using that bottom side in every corner.
Look at Owen starting to really turn up the pressure now on Rodney Van Epperen. Here he goes. Big time air for Owen Van Epperen.
He's like, kid, you just go ahead and you bonsai that. If you want to do it, I'll let you go by.
That's a young man's game, flying a race car like that over the Brunt Booter.
I wonder if he waved to him up in the air.
Greaves is going to lead him through the Polaris final turn one last time, and there it is, 2 for 2 on the day for CJ Greaves. First in Pro Stock, takes the win here again in AMSOIL Pro Side-by-Side. Owen Van Epperen again set the fastest lap of the race on that final lap. The track definitely was coming in for Owen there at the end.
We did a good job creeping the bottom. These guys were fast. Ronnie was right there, then Owen was right there, and I just knew that I couldn't make any big mistakes. It all came down to just staying really consistent, hitting my marks exactly every time, and just going from there.
Moments away at the Show Me Off-Road Shootout, the Pro Spec class is ready to go. Will Thriller Wyatt Miller sweep the weekend, or will the sport's seasoned veterans knock the teenager off the top spot? It's time for Pro Spec. I love the mixture of drivers in this class. Interesting mix of some entrenched veterans and some really fast newcomers.
Yeah, the age gap is crazy in this class, but guys like Wyatt Miller, they're one to watch coming in here to Wheatland, Missouri.
On the pole, and she is off like a rocket. She actually ended up upside down yesterday, looking to bounce back and find a little redemption here in round 2.
Yeah, she was struggling a little bit. She went upside down 2 different times in round 1, but I'm sure she's going to diagnose what she did wrong and put it back on the table.
Yeah, don't let her age fool you and her relative inexperience fool you. She is as fast as anybody out there. There is some trouble there for Ronald Cosiza. And there you see the trouble. A missing left front wheel sheared that thing right off. Man, he had such a good run yesterday. Looked like maybe he was coming into his own a little bit. Chris Vandenelsen still holding on for dear life to that second position. There is Chris in the number 66 Nexen Tires machine. Oh, look at Miller giving a shove to Visser.
Yeah, Miller trying to run him out of the race line. Did a great job. Put the truck where it needed to be, Shane.
Hey, Visser, like I said, he's not afraid to throw a couple punches throughout the course of a race, but he just took a shot there from the Thriller Wyatt Miller.
He's a dirt track racer. He knows where to go.
Maybe not so much used to turning right, but the skills are there, right?
Right, absolutely.
There you see Miller trying the high side. Van den Elzen getting a little crossed up, and whoa, Van den Elzen had to get hard on the brakes to make the save. Thriller Wyatt Miller now into second, and Visser comes storming by to retake third place now.
Well, here we go. Avery Hemmer gonna lead him to this restart. The Thriller Wyatt Miller had to check up just a little bit.
Yeah, Miller gave Hemmer just a little bit of a shove there. Look at Chris Van den Elzen trying to dive down to the inside right away on Wyatt Miller. Chris found some grip down there too. That might be a line he comes back to a little bit later on. Oh, and Plummer comes in and gives a shove there to Van den Elzen. All kinds of chaos going on. See some ripped fiberglass there on Nick Visser's truck. Now he's on the outside of the podium looking into that number 4 spot. And we might have a change in our lead. Miller, a little shot there to Hemmer, and he's going to sneak on past. So Thriller Wyatt Miller, the round 1 winner, here in the lead in round 2.
Yeah, he took that line right away, Shane. That was so cool to see. Didn't make any contact, just put the truck where it wanted to go. And now he's got that fresh, clean air. He's going to try to run away and hide from this group.
We'll have to keep an eye on that fiberglass hood on Nick Visser's truck. It's starting to peel back a little bit. We have in the past seen some incidents where the hood will flop over backwards and block your field of view. It's got to be a distraction too. It's starting to come up right in front of Nick.
Yeah, it is. It's just waving at us on camera here. Hopefully it don't get caught up in his vision. He's still trying to hammer down here late in this one.
Oh, it's definitely blocking his vision, at least to some extent. There is Wyatt Miller out of Statesville, North Carolina. Trying to make it a clean sweep. Picked up career off-road win number 1 in round 1. He's hoping to break out the brooms on the podium.
Yeah, he looks to be in the right position right now late in this one.
This is more what we expected from Avery Hemmer, though. After what we saw in her debut last season, for her to be firmly in second. Visser's just trying to keep up to her right now. He's got his own adversity going on during this race, but we expect more of this out of Hemmer, too. The youth revolution is taking over here in Pro Spec. Thriller Wyatt Miller, 2 for 2 to start the 2025 season here in Pro Spec.
Yeah, I knew we had a fast truck. I went through those whoops, he got a little crossed up, and so I got under and then led from there.
Buggy dorks, this is your time when Champ Off-Road comes back to Wheatland Pro Buggy, up next on the racetrack. But first, let's recognize the winner of our Yokohama Hard Charger Award, Tucker Packenham.
Hard Charger belt and a backpack from our friends at Yokohama.
The restart zone, so trying to avoid the disadvantage for the drivers on the outside. They start right in front of the flag stand now. Schwalbe and Meister dead even as they head through turn 1. Looks like Meister might have the advantage.
Yeah, they caught us off guard. We were normally calling that race from that turn 1, but I can guarantee you they figured it out the right way, and now we already got a battle going for the lead. Meister.
Yeah, Schwalbe trying to fight back on the outside. He's got the high line. There's definitely 2 race lines throughout this corner, so they should be about dead even as they come off the corner, and they are. Oh, and Schwalbe is going to drop another spot. Here comes Billy Booth on the charge. 1 lap in the books and a long way to go. Drapkin now closing it on the back bumper of Schwalbe as they go down the main straightaway.
Now we'll see if Billy Booth can work his way up towards Michael Meister. You see Meister at the top of our screen.
Meister in control of this one early on. Jordan Bernlord, the number 1, trying to make some moves. Here comes Minder down to the inside of Schwalbe.
Boy, Schwalbe's been busy the whole race. He's been falling back, but just trying to defend off these fast competitors.
I'm thinking Ryan might have chosen a tire group for a little bit drier track, so he's just trying to keep it together here while the track is still a little bit wet. That moisture that they put down. Schwalbe will lose another spot. Left rear wheel completely sheared off that car. I don't know what would have led to that. I didn't see him make contact with anybody. Might have been something that was just out of our field of vision, but
yeah, it just ripped that whole left rear off, and maybe that was going for a little while. That's why he was slowing down. He might have heard a vibration or felt a vibration.
Yeah, tough break for Schwalbe. But we have reached the halfway caution. Michael Meister, Billy Booth, Zachary Drapkin, Shaden Minder, and Mark Ehrsteiny Steinhardt now up into the top 5. He got around Jordan Bernlord.
Let's see if Michael Meister, all those changes work.
See if the 5-time champ can stay out in front of all these young guns. Billy Booth right behind him, Zach Drapkin, Jaden Minder, and then the GOAT, Mark Steinhardt, in the top 5. Top 5 getting a little bit spread out at this point. This infield section, man, they all just condense back together. You can see everybody closing in on one another. Yeah, I believe that was Jordan Bernlohr, so not a great day for the defending champ. Drapkin was alongside Booth for just a second. Booth definitely knows that by now that he is right there, and Minder starting to close on those two as well. What a day for Meister. Dominant start to finish in this one.
Yeah, he did it. He did everything he wanted to do overnight. He got the car prepped, got the tire combination down, and he just dominated here.
Big win for Meister here in round 2. Billy Booth across the line in second. Drapkin, very strong third place for him. Back-to-back third place finishes for Zachary Drapkin.
This class is just getting harder and harder, and that's great though, because it's going to be a battle between like the top 10 throughout the year.
Welcome back once again to AMSOIL Championship Off-Road here in beautiful Wheatland, Missouri. Brent, next up to try to tame this beast, a class you know a lot about. You've raced it yourself, Pro Light. It's going to be tough out there for these trucks.
Yeah, Shane, I've raced Pro Light, you know that, and I'm telling you, it's very tippy in a Pro Light truck. You got to have your game face on because you could get into trouble very quick. We're about to take the green flag, and here we go.
Look at that start by Connor Berry. He's going to lead the field down at turn 1. He pushed way wide, though, almost out to the wall. Ledbetter trying to pull alongside of Johnny Holcher. She's going to cross him up. Holcher found a little hole down there.
Yeah, he got a little bobble out. He's going to be on that top line. You see how wet it is down on the bottom.
I don't think these drivers expected quite that much water to get put down. Certainly they've got tires on for what the track is going to become, a drier track. You see Michael Funk now trying to stick his nose in on Johnny Holcher. We got a 3-way battle for the lead as they head for the brunt booter for the first time. It is going to be slick down here in this infield section after the water trucks were out on the racetrack. Whoa, a little bit of contact there into the bedside of Barry. Barry able to gather it back up.
Boy, Barry trying to gather it up.
Whoa,
like
a little push.
There goes Holger to the inside. Holger going for the lead. He does a slide job.
Barry just couldn't get that truck to rotate. Look at that forward drive by Barry, though. He's going to come storming back and steal the lead back from Holger.
Yeah, now Funk looking the inside of Holger. They're going to make a little contact on exit.
Yeah, everybody down there just trying to find some traction through those tight S-curves.
As we have a full course caution going on.
I think that might just be a local yellow, as you see they're trying to get Ledbetter's truck. No, it will be a full course yellow, so we'll slow everybody down. Yeah, and I talked about Matt Wood getting that first win out of the way. I think the next guy in line for that is probably Michael Funk. He's been cutting his teeth in Pro Light for a couple years now. He's knocked out a couple podiums, but any number of ways this one could go. Still plenty of time left here in round 2 for the Pro Lights. Connor Berry is going to lead him once again through turn 1.
Yeah, Connor Berry doing what he needs to do, just running that fast line. Johnny Holger looking to not get as much grip on the entry there. So we got a car upside down. That's Liebergen.
Tough break for the number 036, Derek Liebergen. Another rookie here in Pro Light, tipped over on his side.
As Johnny Holger is starting to button back up to our leader.
Yeah, Johnny must have been listening to you there. He ran in a little bit wide there, found some good speed.
Yeah, he is. He over-rotates just a little bit too much there.
Yeah, pitched that truck way sideways coming through the Polaris final turn.
Looks to be a little bit stronger than Connor Berry in this infield section.
Yeah, Berry, a couple mistakes on that previous lap, left the door open. Holcher not able to capitalize. Holcher setting up inside Berry. A little bit crossed up again, and here goes the pass for the lead.
What did I tell you?
Holcher able to muscle his way past Berry.
Wow, great work by Johnny Holger. He's gonna have to protect that bottom and not over-rotate. Great driving again there.
One last time, staring down the checkered flag. It'll be Johnny Holcher back-to-back to open 2025 here in Pro Light.
Really experienced and being good with the gas pedal. We did our best and we were able to wait it out and be patient and pull it off.
Next up from Wheatland, we'll let the big dogs loose. The baddest dudes in short course are in Pro 4 and they're on track next. Welcome back once again to Wheatland, Missouri. AMSOIL Championship Off-Road here for the opening rounds. Brent, that time on the schedule. It's time for the grand finale, Pro 4. I got a feeling this is going to be a really wild race.
Yeah, these trucks are bad to the bone. They are the big boys of the sport here at AMSOIL Championship Off-Road. There is your top qualifier, the Yokohama top qualifier, Cole Mamer.
As we are about to cut the 900 horsepower Pro 4s loose. The green flag flies. Listen to that horsepower.
Oh boy, Mamer goes wide early. You can't do that with CJ Greaves on the outside. Oh, Greaves pushes.
Another push there by Greaves, just like we saw in AMSOIL Pro side-by-side. Mamer able to get away a little bit. Here comes Mickey Thomas to the outside at Talladega turn.
Yeah, we'll get a good look at this track now. They played with it just a little bit, but that Talladega corner looks to be prime.
Thomas just checks up a little bit at the top of the front booter. Everybody flying easily over that entire tabletop.
Such a cool shot by our camera crew each and every time. As Mamer, he wants to sweep the weekend. He is hard on that loud pedal early.
Yeah, look who's right behind him. It's the rookie, the silent assassin, Mickey Thomas, giving him all kinds of pressure as they go through the middle of the track.
Yeah, he was already squared away before. Oh boy, Adrian Cheney upside down.
Early trouble here for the Wildman. We'll see if he's able to rejoin the fight. There was a moment there where it looked like Thomas was going to pull alongside Mamer. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to the Wildman.
Oh wow, he got all crossed up through that rhythm section.
Wow, just clipped the end of that fence too. That could have been a whole lot worse for Adrian Cheney.
Yeah, it just bent to bedside. That could have been catastrophic. The frame could have bent if he'd hit that K-rail.
Unfortunately, Cheney's still stuck where the track crew can't quite get to him yet, so he's going to be at risk of going a lap down if they can't get him turned over quickly.
Oh yeah, that's not good
right
this
on
early.
time.
Oh, they're going to come to a complete stop.
So that is going to do Cheney a favor. If that truck is okay, it might be. It was a side-to-side roll. He had a fence post. Those aren't super strong structures. You know, I doubt that it did any meaningful damage to the truck. Just hope all four corners are square. You see the bent fence there.
Yeah, it's made to give a little bit, but it's a catch fence for a reason. He just went before the catch fence, so it didn't help him out at all. But tough break for the 11 of Adrian Cheney. Great to have him back in the series once again.
Well, if you had the Wildman Cheney going upside down on the bingo card, you could check that one off. We've seen that a time or two here in Pro 4. I was loving what I was seeing, though. I was telling you about Mickey Thomas. There was a moment there where he got a good inside run on Mamer. They were door-to-door for a second. Mamer able to just beat him to the next corner right before that yellow flag came out. We knew Thomas was going to pick it up. We knew he was going to be fast in Pro 4. But, man, Mickey Thomas is here to play for real.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at Adrian Cheney. He just gets side-by-side with Henderson and kind of did it himself.
Yeah, just got a little bit out of shape. That rhythm section, those whoops, they'll bite you if you're not perfectly squared away. We've talked about that all weekend. Loving the fight I'm seeing right now from the number 3, Paul Wolf. He's going to go door-to-door with Anderson. Thomas barely able to clear Wolf.
Boy, I think RJ and Wolf took too much time getting through that infield. You see that big rock that was kicked up?
Yeah, Talladega starting to really fall apart now. This has to hold up for about 6.5 more minutes in this one.
Boy, Wolf, he just bonsai'd that table. That was so cool to see.
Thomas still going to work on Paul Wolf. See if Wolf tries to cross him up here as they enter the rhythm section. No, Wolf's going to push a little bit wide, so the silent assassin, Mickey Thomas, will take over third. And CJ now goes to work on Paul Wolf, and Greaves will move into fourth.
Yeah, Greaves made that look easy. Just went to the bottom, made that pass stick. Now his eyes are set on Thomas.
Oh.
And Thomas goes around, just as I say it.
That'll move CJ Greaves up another spot into third. Wolf back into fourth now. We'll go back and take another look. We fly alongside Thomas. Big air, he had to get hard on the brakes and just overcooked it a little bit. And Mamer went around too, so Anderson.
We didn't see that. Anderson took the lead.
Yeah, too much action all at once, so RJ Anderson, your new race leader. There's the NOS energy drink machine of Anderson, so it's Anderson, Greaves, Wolf, your top 3. Johnny Greaves now up into fourth.
I'm sorry, I promised we would have seen it. We would have told you. We had no clue what went on until that replay.
Yeah, synchronized spins there. Just hard to keep up with all the action. There is RJ Anderson, had to settle for second back in round one. Look who is now in the picture, the 9-time Pro 4 champ, CJ Greaves, trying to hunt him down. Oh, in trouble for CJ. Something went wrong on his truck right as we talked about it. Able to get it back, refired, so another shakeup. That moves Paul Wolf into the second position.
Wow, great drive by Wolf. He's going to be a happy race car driver if he can finish up on the podium.
I'm wondering if any of these guys are going to be able to finish this race. RJ might have a little bit of trouble. I was looking at that left rear tire on RJ Anderson. Hopefully we can get a closer look.
Everyone's struggling right now. You look back to Johnny Greaves as well. They can't turn it. That's why I believe he lost front wheel drive early.
RJ does have a flat left rear tire, Brent. We'll get a closer look at it. That tire's starting to delaminate. RJ Anderson in huge trouble.
Yeah, that tire's definitely coming apart. The body panels are starting to shred. Oh boy, does he have enough to get to the end? You have CJ Greaves right behind you before, but he has a big enough gap right now.
Yeah, but there's still almost 3 minutes left. That thing is absolutely shredded on that left rear. No way that thing's gonna hold together the rest of this race. It's taking on way too much heat right now, and Anderson, by now, he definitely knows something is wrong on that left rear corner.
Oh yeah, that tire is definitely downsized. She's about a 30-inch tire instead of a 35.
I told you there'd be drama. These guys are not letting us down right now.
Can Wolf get the job done? Can he get up to the back of RJ Anderson? Wolf's right there, and here comes CJ Greaves.
Yeah, it's about to be really competitive for the lead here in a moment. RJ Anderson's wounded truck is not going to be able to hold these guys off for long.
Man, we can smell it in the booth. There's so many different smells coming out of these trucks right now, breaking down as we speak.
Well, there's the battle for second starting to heat up. CJ Greaves possibly having an issue himself. We're not sure. We did see him pull off. Looked like the truck was maybe trying to die out on him. He's trying to keep the pace with Paul Wolf. For now, Anderson leads another lap. 1:45 left on the clock.
I believe he's going to really struggle here, RJ Anderson, as that tire keeps coming apart.
It's going to be really hard for him to turn right. We're going to find out right now as he goes into turn 2. Yeah, he's just got to tiptoe through there. How about it? Paul Wolf about to take over the Pro 4 race lead.
He's coming in the pits. You don't want to wreck a bypass shock or anything for the rest of the year.
Once that tire starts to delaminate, you have to pull off. That's race control probably told him he had to get off that racetrack.
Boy, Paul Wolf, he's glad he came back to Wheatland, Missouri. He's going to have company, though, here. CJ Greaves going to that inside.
Yeah, CJ doesn't want to rough him up here. Wolf able to hold the point as they come back down the hill, up and over the tabletop, the overpass jump.
Yeah, that's a former Greaves chassis, so he definitely is in a good piece in that number 3 ride.
1 minute left on the clock here for Pro 4.
Wolf's doing a great job just protecting that bottom, but looking fast too.
Wolf in his second year in Pro 4, but still, I don't think many people would have had this on their radar. Wolf overcooks a little bit. Greaves is going to spin out. Wolf's lead grows a little bit larger now.
Look at our time clock, Shane. He's going to beat the clock back, so it's going to be 2 laps to go this time by for Wolf.
Can the underdog get it done here in Pro 4?
They tested here before this weekend. I talked to those guys. Willis, he told me, hey, Justin's like, hey, we put in laps. We came prepared. We came confident. It's showing right now. He's running out front.
Yeah, Greaves trying to come storming back, though. Definitely starting to close that gap. Wolf just trying to dodge those huge potholes down there in Talladega Turn. Here comes CJ Greaves once again.
Yeah, he's putting on the late charge. Here comes Greaves.
Greaves looking to the inside. Wolf's going to be able to hold the point once again. Now we come into the tight section of the course. This hard left-hander into the rhythm section. Greaves trying to square it up a little bit early. Does he have the run? Can he beat him to the spot? They're going to make more contact.
Yeah, CJ did that all weekend long. Fought for that bottom line, and then, hey, Wolf had nowhere to go on exit.
I'm wondering if Wolf's truck might be going away from him a little bit too. It doesn't seem like he has quite the acceleration. But for now, he'll hold on to second. Johnny Greaves in third, and here's the silent assassin going to work on him.
Yeah, I think Johnny's not fully up to par right now. We've seen him limping around, but he seems to be up to speed there in that section.
I don't think there's much left to any of these trucks, if we're being honest, as our field takes the white flag. Oh, trouble for Johnny Greaves. Something is wrong on the number 22.
Something in the gearbox. It seemed like the front end dove down. Maybe it's stuck in gear or something.
Yeah, it's going wrong. Hopefully he can find a gear that's fast enough to run with Thomas, but he is really struggling right now. Back out front, though, CJ Greaves. Pulling an even larger gap over Paul Wolf. See if Wolf's able to hold on to second over Mickey Thomas.
Talk about a bounce back. CJ Greaves getting a third in round one. Just trying to get up on top of the box here in round two. Man, those front wheels don't look like they're digging that much.
Yeah, I don't think CJ's truck is all the way healthy in this one either.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he tells us on the podium, if he makes it there, that, hey, you know, front wheel drive wasn't working all the time.
Now Thomas going to work on Paul Wolf. Just a few corners to go. We'll see if the underdog can hold off the rookie. You can tell Wolf's truck is bouncing all over the place too. He's used up just about all the shocks on that truck.
Yeah, they're definitely heating up, and Thomas goes around.
Now here comes Johnny Greaves. Can he capitalize? He does, so Johnny Greaves moves into third. But the checkered flag is going to come out, and CJ Greaves survives the Pro 4 war to take the win here in round two.
Man, who can get their truck to the finish line and what's left of it here in this tough layout, Shane?
What a day for Paul Wolf to finish second in this one, and Johnny Greaves, the 7-time champ, across the line in third. Thomas settles for fourth, his first Pro 4 podium. We'll have to wait for another day. From Swamico, Wisconsin, CJ Greaves.
CJ, a wild one for everyone, including you there. We were backwards and off the track with only a few to go. Do you think you'd be able to pick your way back up to the top spot?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, early on, the track was pretty good, and we were all kind of dicing it up a little bit there. And then I ended up about running over some people over here, just trying to gather it up coming out of Talladega. And after that, I was like, all right, we got to go back to just settle down and let the race carry on and see what happens here. And that's what we did. We just started picking them off, and next thing you know, we came over the tabletop in the middle and into the chicane, and there was cars parked everywhere. And luckily, I was able to squeeze through them both and get into second. And I saw RJ had a flat, so I knew it was only a matter of time. I just needed to buy my time, and that thing was going to shred. So I was kind of hanging out, and then I caught a big hole, shot off the track, hit the wall, went over the wall, came back on the track. Paul got by me. I knew Mickey was right there too. My dad was there, and I was like, all right, well, Devin's like, the clock's ticking. I think you're still going to have 2 to go. So we put our head down, just tried to put together a good couple laps and then bring it home. So I was glad I was able to survive that with these guys, and just hats off to all of our crew. Hats off to Chad. He's been working hard, VP Race Fuels and Lubricants, and I guess we'll see you guys in Anago.
CJ Greaves on top of the box in round 2 of Pro 4.
My goodness, Brent, what a way to finish the weekend here in Wheatland. The opening rounds are now behind us, but hey man, based on what we saw in Pro 4 and really all the classes that we've raced this weekend, I think we're set up for a wild season.
Yeah, it really set the tone. This season's going to be over the top. We've seen a lot of great competition, and we started at a great facility. Just wait, Anago's awaiting.
Plenty more left on the schedule for us this summer, but that's it from the Show Me Off-Road Shootout. For Nolan Castellian and Brent Smith, I'm Shane Stetsny. Thanks for watching AMSOIL Championship Off-Road.